Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. It's time to experience what's possible. So, what if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions Publishing, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the author poets of one of our newest books. I cannot wait to share this one with you guys. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the cover right away. 100 Poems and Possibilities for Healing. This is volume 3 in a series that we have done every January for the last 3 years. Look at that beautiful sunrise. Thank you, Davide De Angelis, for this cover design. Thank you to Kelly Kashula for our beautiful interior book design. And of course, you can see all of our amazing featured authors there, you guys. 100 poems. This project I just have so much passion, and you guys get to meet 3 of the amazing poets from this book today. They're going to chat with you about poetry. They're actually going to read a poem for you today. So I have Angela Vallis here. She's a poet whose words inspire, connect, and spark meaningful reflection. I also have Elizabeth Kipp with us today. She's a stress management and historical trauma specialist who guides people into their joy. And Lulu Trevina is here. She's an author, poet, and artist transforming the societal narrative around women and aging. Welcome, ladies. Oh my gosh. Are you guys ready to talk poetry? I hope so. I hope so. This is going to be fun. Okay, Angela, you're going to start this party off today. What I want to know from all of you is, do you remember when you first started calling yourself a poet? Tell us a little bit of that story.
Yes, that was interesting because it took me a little while to do that. Even after I wrote my first couple of poems, and I remember someone did encourage me to do it, and they did it sort of on a one-on-one and said, um, I think she said, do you feel like a poet? And I said, yes, I do. And then she said, and she said, say, I am a poet. And I said, I am a poet. And it actually took me a little while to say it at first. But once I said it, it really clicked something within me. And it helped me to really be able to own who I really am.
Oh, I love these stories so much. Do you want to shout out her first name for everybody? Do you remember?
I'd be happy to. Dava.
Okay, Dava, we love you. We love you for motivating and inspiring Angela. And that's a similar story in my case, too. It was a human being who came to me and said, hey, that poem was amazing. And for me, like, I just thought I was reading a journal entry that day, and I'm like, oh, okay. And in fact, this book is dedicated to that woman. Her name is Jude, and so you guys will read that in the dedication. Angela, I love it. Thank you. That's awesome. All right, so Lulu, how about you? Do you remember when you first started calling yourself a poet?
Yeah, it's definitely been within your community in the last 5 years. I was first a writer, but even though my writing is very poetic and prose-like, I didn't kind of claim poet. And of course, I've been writing since I was 11. And so, closet poet. I bet there's many of us out there that are closet poets, or in our journals, we're writing, poetry. I wished I'd claimed it when I was 11, actually, but in the last 5 years.
Yes, that story it comes through. The more people come into this particular collection and collaboration, this series, the more I hear this, like, and it always, I don't know, I'm so happy. So yay that you were able to do that, even more recently. We all wish we would have done it sooner, right? But we didn't know what that was back then, maybe that piece of our soul, right? So that's awesome, Lulu. I'm glad that it was really just the last 5 years. That surprises me with you. I
Hmm.
mean, what about soul blessings? Like what? Like really? Was it?
Yeah, I didn't class it as poetry. I kept on saying it's poetic prose, and I'm a writer,
Okay,
not a poet. So
got it.
that was 2018. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I want people to really hear this because you're probably writing poetry, and I'm talking to our audience. You might be writing poetry, and if today is the spark, right? If listening to Lulu and Angela, it's like, oh, and you're sitting up a little straighter, going, oh, having a light bulb moment. I'm happy. I'm happy to do that for everybody. Elizabeth, I'm coming to you with this same question. Do you remember when you first started calling yourself a poet?
Yes, it was about 10 years ago. Similar to Lulu in terms of the prose was there, but I didn't understand the rhythm in the prose that kind of it kind of came out and words started just dropping in front of me. Instead of me thinking them up, they just started dropping in front of me. And I was like, well, this is different. And so there was rhythm, but there was structure, but it was, I'm a Capricorn. I love structure. But this was more free form, and it was kind of like that part of my soul had a chance to really say what it wanted to say instead of the mind coming in and analyzing it all, right? So, but it was about 10 years ago. Interestingly, about 11 and a half years ago, I healed from a lifetime of chronic pain. And so I really had clarity, the ability to hear and see those words. Yep.
That's a really cool story to hear. Gosh, there's a freedom in poetry, isn't there? And I love listening to people talk about how it moves through them. So Elizabeth is like the words were just dropping in front of me, and I feel like they're moving through me. They're being channeled from this place that is a direct connection to our source. Oh, don't get me started. We'll be here for 3 more hours talking about that alone. Like that's such an amazing gift. And there is such freedom in that feeling when I hear you talk about your story, Elizabeth. Thank you to all three of you for answering that question. I love hearing the answer to that because for me, it was such a big moment. It was such a big aha. And it was weird because, and like Angela, I said, it was for me, it was a person too. Like they said it to me and then I woke up to it. But that was like a moment where I could give myself permission, and poetry poured through me after that. It was like someone just unlocked the door and I was like, whoa, I had trouble capturing all of it. So, if you are somebody who hears your friend share something and that's what it sounds like to you, then tell them, right? Tell them. Lulu, what's the most important thing you want other people to know about poetry?
Oh, it's very nourishing for ourselves. I wrote a line in my chapter that what poetry is for me is raw truth, gentle audacity, and a reaching towards the edge of what aches to be named. And so poetry for me has also been about owning my voice, being um, loving enough to let my voice land, my words land for someone else, and let them be a gift, let them be nourishment or something of inspiration, or even just a moment to ponder their own life. So, yeah, I hope poetry is a thread to you, a thread into yourself, is what I hope for people.
A moment to ponder your own life. Like there's an invitation to be in the now moment, which of course is the biggest gift we're ever given. because that's where our life happens. And that, again, like this, we talk about poetry. I feel like I want to grab my megaphone and tell everybody, read poetry, write poetry, get interested in poetry. There are a lot of us that got turned off in school because of how that was taught. And so I meet so many adults who will say, "Oh, I'm just not into that." I'm like, "You're not into living in the moment and creating your best life ever?" And then they're like, "Oh, well, maybe." I'm like, "Okay, read the poetry."
Well, I'd like
Yeah.
to say that I definitely look for other poets and love to read other poets. This part of um, my bookshelf is poetry. The first three, are all poems. So,
Wow.
if you open a book and I don't know, sometimes it can be two sentences and it just touches you somewhere that needed to be touched. Um, and I even sometimes open other books and I find a scribbled poem that I've put inside a book and I go, who wrote that? And it's got it's my handwriting. Oh, that was me. Is delight in finding words that touch you again.
Yes. Yeah, beautiful. Oh my gosh, three rows is all poetry. Oh, that is awesome. And I love your rainbow books there too. Okay, Elizabeth, I'm going to move over to you with this. What's that most important thing you want people to know about poetry?
Poetry is a medium. It's a it's a path. It's a journey right into, as we talked about, the present moment. And when I'm actually able to sink into the present moment, it's this it opens up into this rich landscape with all these little hidden places I couldn't see otherwise. And when I give myself permission to sit in the present moment and deeply listen, the words just flow.
Yes. I'm sitting here like more. Yeah, I know.
I don't know
It's
what else
just,
to say.
I know, it's simple.
It's like really you're you're walking into your own symphony.
There's a line. Yeah, I know. We'll snap for all the lines. There is a line. You're walking into your own symphony. Okay, Angela, how about you? Tell us what you want other people to know about poetry.
I think that whether you're writing it or reading it, it gives us a chance to reflect and to explore our feelings and experiences. And it also gives us perspective. And I think that's one of actually the most important aspects of it is that we can get a perspective and we need it a lot of times. And it's true about, I can't remember, I think which ones of you said it, but it can just be a couple of lines that really can truly change your life sometimes. So that's what I would say.
Yes. Yes. I just keep wanting to say yes to you guys. Yes, with an exclamation point. Um, to all of that. Here's what I want you all to know. There's no rules. There's no rules, you guys. And if poetry, the word, the idea scares you, or you're like, you're having that reaction maybe from an early childhood like teacher that didn't quite do it for you. Um, I would suggest you reframe this for yourself. Maybe start with this book, because what I know is going to happen is you're going to begin to read these poems and you're going to not feel alone anymore. That is what's going to happen. And that's because when, we're talking to all these beautiful ladies are talking about being in the moment of channeling those words from soul. And they're giving you an experience. They're helping you feel. They're bringing you in to have that experience. And that's why you'll nod your head. You won't feel alone. You'll feel connected in a different way. And then, of course, we want you to dabble with this. So what you're going to find in the book is their stories of poetry, like how they got to doing what they're doing. And then I asked them to drop some beautiful poetry. So each poet has 4 poems in their chapter. And then we have a writing prompt for you in the book after that. And I asked all of them to create a prompt for you guys to dabble, to play, to think, to ponder. And so that's why I say maybe you'll start with this book, right? And dive in a little bit. 100 poems and possibilities for healing. Oh my gosh, I love you gals so much. I love what you put into this book. Thank you so much for pouring your hearts and souls onto those pages for people and for sharing your passion. And we're going to hear you read next. And so I'm going to set this up by spotlighting Elizabeth first, and we'll get her going here. They're each going to read one of the poems from the book. And I do believe that we are ready for you, Elizabeth. You good? All right.
This is an homage to all of us who are neurodiverse. I call it neurodiverse. I'm not befuddled. I just see the world sideways with subtitles in multi-dimensions and sometimes with interpretive dance. Frequencies wide open, full throttle. I'm not befuddled. My brain's just jazz. Improv all day with a side of interpretive spreadsheet. I don't zone out. I time travel mid-conversation. You said weather, and suddenly I'm designing a utopia where clouds sing affirmations. I live in layers. Peel one back and find a symphony. Peel another, hello, existential wormhole. It's not chaos, it's kaleidoscopic clarity. I think in triplicate and sideways, and occasionally in whale song. And then I cross-reference it with dreams I had at 3:42 a.m. on a Wednesday in 1997. I took notes, probably in crayon. You say simple, I say symbiotic system of soul signals. Tomato, tomato. I'm not befuddled. I'm a glittery glitch in a linear world bedazzled by nuance, allergic to small talk, and fluent in subtext. I feel you from across the room, even if I'm hiding in the bathroom with noise-canceling headphones and an emotional support snack. Structure? Yes. I'm a cathedral of post-it notes and rituals, an ocean that alphabetizes its own waves. Sometimes I disappear not because I'm lost. I'm just recalibrating or untangling a metaphysical slinky. I'm not befuddled. I'm immanent. I'm me. On purpose, in rhythm. A little offbeat maybe, but dancing just the same. So no, I won't apologize for my sparkle, my sideways glance at reality, or the way I hold 1,000 feelings in the space of a sigh. I'm not befuddled. I'm a limited additional neural mixtape of bonus tracks, unexpected plot twists, and occasional interpretive sneezing. Just know, I'm not befuddled. I'm becoming. And isn't that the point?
That's beautiful, Elizabeth. All right, let's wait. I got to get everybody back in here so that you can have all the snaps. Yes. All right. I'm going to make sure we are all back so that everybody can see that. This is the little 2-second pinning I need to do. So, oh my gosh. I wrote down so many lines. Don't you love it, you guys, when you hear a line from a poem and then you're like, I'm going to write a whole poem with that one, right? This was such a brilliant poem, Elizabeth. Side of interpretive spreadsheet, clouds singing affirmations, kaleidoscopic clarity. Say that one 10 times fast. Whale songs, emotional support snack. Oh my God, girl. Yeah, that was awesome. Super, super awesome. I love it. You guys, I was so intent on having people do this, read for you. You're going to read from a book. But when you are allowed to hear a poet put the vibration of their voice to the words, and you get to hear the rhythm and you get to feel this is other level awesomeness, right? So thanks for starting us off, Elizabeth. All right, I'm going to get Angela ready here, get her up and spotlighted for everybody. And Angela, we are ready for you to introduce your poem.
North Sea Sands. I fell in love with the North Sea upon first sight. Wild, untamed, cold, primeval. Dunes carpeted in seagrasses, kelp awash on the shores. Seashells and sea pebbles adorning the vast sands. Bundled from the ankles up, my feet freed. Soft sand sifts through my hungry toes. Lining my pockets, tiny shells nestle within their larger brothers. Tiny tidbits of eternity resting in my hand. Back home, I add my newfound treasure to ones carefully chosen on days of yore. Perhaps I'll sort them by size. They might love to be with their own. Emptying a cerulean ceramic of their sisters, the experiment ensues. Now we're nice and organized. Yet, trickling the same size shells back into the bowl left me empty. These whimsical jewels cried for their cousins. For nature is neither orderly nor uniform. Flora and fauna refuse to be reined in. Nature thrives and shines in glorious randomness, untethered and free to mingle midst secret liaisons. Like a messy chef, I gleefully mix the large and the small, variety filling my fingers. Ah, how will the bowl look now? Into the ceramic go gems tossed for eons by the waves of the world. Imperfect perfection glances back at me. Sea sand covering the table, my seaside venture beckons. What about me? Sand sifting through my fingers, innumerable sparkles smile on my skin. Tiny crystals from the beginning of time glisten, sprinkled with stardust. The sands of time in my hand. We are all made of stardust, they say. Does my soul sparkle as well? Glistening gems adorn our souls. Let us savor the stars in our hearts. Thank you for listening.
Oh, so beautiful. Were you all taken to the sea just now? Like, was that the best thing ever? All right, hang on. I'm getting everybody back into our little view so we can now snap and clap and wave at Angela. The alliteration in some of those S lines is, I know. See, everyone's like nodding their head. I'm such an alliteration geek. Like, please give me more S's. I love that. And I love hearing people speak it. There is something so wonderful about this. Anyone else a shell collector girl here? Yeah, like all right. Who wouldn't be? I can spend hours doing that. You gave me such a beautiful, sparkly scene in my mind, Angela. Thank you for that. All right, we're going to finish with Lulu's beautiful poem. Let me get her set up here for a moment. And all right, Lulu, you are all set to go.
My poems, I put under the subheading of Poems for the Brave and Passionate. And this one I've chosen is called Raise the Stakes on Tenderness. A love letter to presence in long-term partnerships with eyes open and heart unguarded. Do not go to sleep. The world may close its eyes, but you must stay awake. Find your beloved in the quiet hush of ordinary moments. See them, not as a name you know by rote, but as the soft edges shifting in the candlelight of each arising. Comfort is not an excuse to vanish while lying beside someone who would bleed for your joy. To know someone is not to fold them up into tidy conclusions, or tiny, both work. We are all a revision, drafts rewritten in the ink of living. Yes, learn their values, the anchor points of their ocean. Commitment, kindness, loyalty, love offered in gestures both grand and small. Know their many love languages, spoken not always in words, but in how they create a home around you or hold your gaze when you falter. Be the one who meets them anew each day with wonder, with intention, who offers without hesitation, who gives without erosion, who makes a presence of safe sanctuary. Raise the stakes on your own tenderness. Match effort with vulnerability. Match words with the poetry of action. Be the partner who does not drift off into assumptions, who does not nap through another's ache, who keeps the lamp of connection lit even when the room is dim with routine. Stay awake. Stay aware. Even in silence, reach for their hand like it is still your first time. Do not go to sleep on the one you promised to love awake. Thank you.
Oh, unmute myself. So beautiful. All right, you guys, let's give this a minute to get everybody back and into this view so that we can give Lulu some snaps and claps and waves. Okay, I wrote down comfort is not an excuse to vanish. Ugh, you got me with that line. And then you know what I loved? Many love languages, because that was always a box for me. Like you have one, and I love that line. I know. I love that line. And you kind of just opened me up to, yeah, many. There's many of those. So beautiful, Lulu. Your poetry helps me come down a notch. And hearing you read it is that like 10x for me. To all of you. So beautiful. Amazing work in this book. Thank you all so much for what you do in the world, for being here today to share it with everyone, for reading your beautiful poetry. You guys, this is way more than a book. This is a really generous community. So maybe you want to read more of those poems or connect with the authors. Come down into the show notes. I have all their websites there. Please go click and explore. These women are up to amazing things in the world, and there's lots of other places where you're going to see information about their expertise, read more of their poetry, buy their books, all of the things. Okay. So please go do that. Of course, we hope that you hop over to Amazon and buy your copy of 100 Poems and Possibilities for Healing. This is volume 3 in a really powerful series. And my nonprofit partner, I'm going to do a little shout out for her, Miss Cayenne Thomas. If you guys come back and listen to her interview in this series, a portion of our first quarter royalties goes back to the InkWell. She is the founder of the InkWell, and she provides programs to our DC, Maryland, Virginia youth in therapeutic writing. And she does journal drives. And so our missions mesh so amazingly well. And so I want you all to know that a purchase helps the InkWell. So please go hop over and grab your beautiful book today. And hey, maybe you're a poet with a mission to share your beautiful, brave words in a bigger way. Come on over to bravehealer.com and check out how you can be part of this next poetry collaboration. Lastly, today, everyone, remember your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.